What's up guys? Welcome back to Toon Duelists. In this video I'm going to show you some test hands of our Spellbook Dogmatika deck profile. Now I'm super excited to show this one to you guys, but of course I have to explain a little. Normally I would show you something like a basic combo, but in this deck there is no such thing as a basic combo. It's not a combo deck at all, it's more control based, and if you follow the channel for a while you know I have a thing for control decks, so that's probably the reason I love to play this deck so much. But it's still, even though it's a control deck, very interactive with all the Dogmatika cards. Really love to play this deck. If you want to see more about this interactive part, definitely check out the Nexus replays. That's the part where you can see those things of this deck, of course, better than now with the test hands. If you haven't already, definitely check out the deck profile so you know what I'm working with right here. And also definitely consider liking and subscribing. It's one total free click for you, but means the world to us. And why not help a fellow duelist? So guys, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Alright guys, let's start off with test hand number 1. This is going to be fun. And let's see what we can do with those 5 right here. Whew. All right, now that's interesting to say the least, but whew, this is a tough one actually. Now, thing is, you can do several things here. Whoops. Now, what you can do for first of all is of course activate terraforming to add your secret village. Now, we have one problem right here. Because once we have our village out, we won't be able to activate any spell effects. So we can anyways be a little bit risky right here and do the following, which is probably also what I would do. We activate Secret Village anyways. We set Duality and we set the Fallen and the Virtuous. We keep our Spellbook of Fate, obviously. And we have our Fleur-de-Lis in hand. Now, we're locked out of spells entirely, but once our opponent, we pass the turn of course, and once our opponent brings out a monster special summon from the extra deck, we immediately have to bring out Fleur-de-Lis. At this point, we have our Spellcaster's Village live, so no more spells for our opponent. Also, we can now have a pop, which we can already use, and I would probably do this as soon as possible for one reason, because when he gets rid of Fleur-de-Lis, we're again in the spot where we can't activate Duality and we can't activate anything else. So as soon as you have something that is worth popping, do it and send your Dusk Dragon. Because with your Dusk Dragon in grave, once he special summons, you can bring out another spellcaster. So we have our Secret Village live again. So this one is, let's say, our security line. Once our Fleur-de-Lis is gone, we can go into that. And we can also, of course, use Duality, get rid of Fleur-de-Lis and just bring out our Dragoon to have an Omni-Negate. So this one is a bit risky. We heavily rely on our opponent bringing out a monster from the extra deck, but let's be honest, which deck doesn't? And once this is the case, we have him locked down. No spells, Omni-Negate right here, and even backup if he gets rid of something. So yeah, overall, great board in my opinion. Alright guys, test hand number 2. Let's see what we can do with those 5 right here. Alright, that's interesting. But with Secret Village, it's already peak in basically. Now, what we want to do, we want to keep our Native Servant away for now, because of course after that we're locked out of the extra deck completely. But what we want to do is normal summon our Spellbook Magician of Prophecy and activate its effect to search. Now, if he ashes this or imperms, veilers, whatever, this is actually great for us because the search right here is not really necessary. We can search our Spellbook of Secrets. I always, would advise you to go the long way down, because you want to have spellbooks in the grave, so once you draw into Fate, you have it live, so you can banish 3. So now we activate Secrets, and we of course add the best one, which is Judgment. We activate Judgment, so we can have a special summon at the end of this turn, which we will. Now you can keep your Secret Village for now, but what you can do now is use this one, go into your Salmongrate, Almirage, and with this one you go into Secure Gardener. And this is set up because now we can activate Nadir Servant. First spell we activated after Judgment, and we add, of course, our good old, no, not Maximus. We first add Ecclesia, because we now can special summon Ecclesia because we have a monster special summon from the extra deck on the field, and this one then adds Maximus. And now we can also special summon Maximus, we banish, we special, and of course we activate Maximus effect. Now, very important, you have to send, of course, your app cologne, you want the Shadow Lock, and now another Dark Monster. Of course, you could send your Dragon Devouring Dogma, but of course you had a search for Dogmatika card, but isn't really the best. We have our Thunderbolt in the hand, which is the only one you would want to search, maybe for Duelists, but yeah, you could, depends on what you prefer. This one could, of course, also special summon a Dogmatika monster or add Fleur-de-Lis, so same one right here, but special summoning when those two are already out doesn't really make sense too. And in my opinion, I would probably go for our Garura, so we just have another draw, but it's up to you. I think adding Fleur-de-Lis would also be a great thing to do. But now we shuffle, we cut, we draw with Garura, and we of course now add our Shadow Schism. Spellbook of Fate is actually not that bad. We have 2 spellbooks in the grave, so that's not bad at all. Yeah, next thing we can do now is also special summon Fleur-de-Lis. The conditions are met, there's a monster, special summon from the extra deck, and we can just straight up set our punishment right here. And next thing we can do now is activate Secret Village of the Spellcasters, which is 2 counters for our Judgment, of course, and set Schism, and even set Fate, because at this point Spellbook of Fate can banish 2, so it's a Book of Moon basically, which is again not too bad, and you would end your turn right here. This is your card in hand, and now of course Judgment. You can add 2 cards. You want to add your Prophecy and you want to add your Spellbook of Secrets. Oh, excuse me, of course, you can't add Prophecy, you have to add spells. Sorry, my bad. Then in this case, you want to add your Spellbook of Knowledge and your Spellbook of Secrets, of course. Which is also just great setup for your next turn right here. And that's where you end your board. Now, what do we have on field? We have, as soon as our opponent enters the main phase, we can bring out our Shadow Winder Lock. He can do one thing in his main phase. We're gonna banish those 2 and bring out Winder and have him locked down this way. Might even pop a Dark Monster on the way. Now, no spells, obviously. We have 4 Spellcaster monsters on the field, so we would need a complete board wipe to burn us down right here. We still have Punishment. You have to watch out to bring out Winder before you activate Punishment, obviously. And with Punishment, you not only have a Destroy, you also have a potential another card pop, a Bounce, or a Negate, of course, or you have a Search if you want to choose one of those. Then we also have our Dust Dragon as a potential target for Punishment, obviously, so we would have another, or could have another special summon of our Fleur-de-Lis straight from the deck. Once our opponent special summons, if he does use his 1 summon he has because of Winder. So we could also bring out a Fleur-de-Lis, but yeah, in my opinion, Bounce, another pop, or Negate would be the better option right here. And if everything goes south, you still have 1 Book of Moon right here, and of course you're safe from effect or battle damage once this turn. Once again, amazing locking down your opponent right here. Alright guys, third and final test hand. Test hand number 3. Let's see. Okay, draw 2 of your one-offs. This is obviously great. Alright, so in this scenario, we have a bit of a problem actually. Now, thing is, we can only set and go second. That's all we can do. We can only set our Punishment and our Fallen and the Virtuous. Schism doesn't make any sense. We can't summon anyways. So yeah, it's just dangerous to keep it out anyway. But with this hand, we're not done at all, because still, we have a pop when we send one of our Albus monsters. Best thing you could send for this pop would obviously be your Dust Dragon. So this is 1 pop of any card. And with your Dust Dragon, you now have, once he special summons, you can banish this one to just bring out one of your Dogmatika monsters, which can either be Ecclesia for another search to a card on the hand, or you want to bring out a big body, then you could of course also go for the second copy of Maximus, whatever you want. Then of course you can also activate your punishment, and punishment is not only a pop, it's, once again, keep this in mind, either 2 pops or pop and bounce or pop and negate. So yeah, pretty amazing right here. Then of course you also have your Thunderbolt, which now can not only special summon itself, but also of course set Dogmatika Beast, which is again live this turn. So you can, for example, also even target your banished Dust Dragon, because of course you can summon it. It doesn't have to be fusion summoned. So yeah, once again, a card you can basically activate at all the time, which is another pop, bounce, or negate. So even if it doesn't seem too good at first, you actually have a lot of interaction during your opponent's turn with even a hand like this. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like and a subscription. This would really help us a lot. And of course, don't forget to let me know in the comments what you think about those test hands. Do you have any ideas how to improve this deck or something like that? Definitely let me know. We always love to read and answer your comments, of course. Then, of course, if you haven't already, check out the deck profile, check out the Nexus replays, so you have a deep dive into this deck. And yeah, I'd say, until next time, have a good one.